All right. So, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Chaos Asia meeting that we hold on a fortnightly basis on Thursdays at 8 a.m. IST. So we use this to discuss updates or any reminders or any new issues that have cropped up that are potentially of interest for us. And I'm gonna hit share and go through our agenda doc for today. But if you have any items that are not entered in the agenda doc, please feel free to bring them up during the open discussion segment, which will follow the agenda doc. And we can obviously get to that during the open discussion section. Lastly, this also follows the code of conduct, and that is also another thing that I want to bring up, but more on that later. So yeah, I'm gonna hit share right now and we can get started. Hmm, right. I'm gonna hit share for the whole screen, so you're gonna see a photo of you in a bit. Okay. Okay. So this is correctly not the right one. Yeah. So we have the right doc in front of us. So first up, there's I don't think we have any updates from any of the social media management or disability focus groups. Sandeep, please correct me if I am wrong here. If you have any updates from last year when we connected with Ruth, I don't know if that conversation went any further. But if you have any updates, happy to chime. I mean, happy to have you. Happy to let you have the floor. Sorry.
One second. Give you 1 second.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yes. So I think I don't know. We never had. I don't know. I think we were to catch up, but I think it never happened.
Okay. Do you want help in reviving the conversation with Ruth and folks over the disability focus group?
Yeah. I think that would be good, Divya. That would be
Okay,
good.
so yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll just um,
So the problem is that the problem is the same thing that you said. We are not too closer to the Yukon now, but it's okay. Let us get the conversation started. But I think it's going to be like very challenging with all the presentations at KubeCon and everything.
we can wait after KubeCon. That's not
Yeah,
a problem. There's no rush here, but I can definitely initiate a conversation and we can schedule some time after KubeCon, maybe April second week or something,
yeah,
so that
yeah,
we can get that conversation started. So
yeah.
that's the
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
let us do that because if we actually do after April, then it will actually become the end of April. Yeah, so yes,
yeah,
let's get the conversation started and set up something around the second week of April. That should be good. Yeah,
yeah. All right. So I'll help revive the conversation that we were having after this call.
yeah,
Um, I don't particularly think there's anything from the social media management side. Leon, please correct me if I'm wrong because I remember that Zhao and you were talking about something last week around, yeah, Community Over Code Asia event. But I think that was reposted on X. After that, there was nothing. Please correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, there was nothing other than that then. My
All right. Okay. So as of now, that's blank. Now, with respect to any other updates, we are going to have a Chaos Cast feature. We were supposed to have a recording yesterday, but due to time zone conflicts, we really could not get that. However, we plan to have a recording over the next couple of weeks, and we will be sharing the work that we're doing here in terms of like partnerships and on the ground events and our plans for the future, I guess. So I'm going to pause here and see if anyone has any questions, and then we can move ahead with the reminders. All right. So the next section is that of reminders. And Yeah, okay. So, yeah, so the next section is that of reminders. The first one is from Zhao, who has kindly put in that the CFP for Community over Code Asia by the Apache Software Foundation is now open. So, if anyone wants to submit stuff for that, the CFP is open, and I believe there's also travel assistance offered. So, if you do want to apply for something um, specific to chaos, let us know. We are also opening up an issue to track those efforts. But if you want to submit something separately, that's also fine. You don't need to let us know, but this is something that we are working on from a chaos perspective as well. So I'm going to pause there and see if anyone has any questions. The links are here on the chat. Not on the chat, on the agenda doc. So y'all can directly apply if it's non-chaos related. But if it's chaos related, would appreciate if y'all check in with us because we are also planning on the site to sort of have a community presence at the event. Okay, so yeah, the next one is the data for the list of open source communities in Asia. Unfortunately, Roland is not here today, so we haven't really moved further on this particular initiative, but the idea is to sort of move in this direction over the next year. We're not submitting to Google season of Google Summer of Code. I mean, it's already the list of organizations is already out, but I don't know if we want to submit for season of docs. It's something that has to be discussed. However, what Roland suggested the last time he was on the call is that we can have there are a lot of interns that work with Roland, and there is traditionally a lot of curating work that goes on in terms of the work that they do. So happy to sort of like collaborate with him towards getting some of those interns involved in our work as well, and also into the Chaos project from the Asia Pacific region. So, want to pause here and see if y'all have any thoughts on that. All right, so I've not received any comments on this, so I'm going to the next item, which is the UN Open Source Week in, I think, June, the week of June 16. It is just prior to the Open Source Summit in North America, which is the during the week of June 23rd. So if y'all are attending Open Source Summit North America or have submitted something and are waiting to hear back, this is a good opportunity to also sort of seek um, registration invites for the Open Source Week hosted by UN at their North American headquarters, which is in New York. So the form and everything is given on the link here, but I have to mention this, and I mentioned this here on the page itself, that the submission of the form is not equal to acceptance. They will send you a registration invite once you're accepted, and again, I think it's going to be sent out during the month of like the end of March or start of April once you submit the form. So, if this is of interest, I would highly recommend that you submit this, because last time around there was a not last time around, this time around there's a hackathon, there's an OSPOS for Good Symposium, there's also partner events, there's a DPI, that is Digital Public Infrastructure related event. So there's something for everybody, and I would recommend that if y'all are interested and if y'all are making the trip to the Open Source Summit in North America, you apply for this as well. There'll be no travel funding for this, because I don't think they offer travel funding. But since this is just prior to the week of Open Source Summit, I think you can sort of like use the travel funding that's there for one of them and streamline it for the other as well. Again, subject to terms and conditions. I'm going to pause here and see if anyone has any questions on this. And this is the second last one because I've not entered the last one in terms of updates here. So the second last one is that all the open source summits in Europe and in Asia, that is India, Korea, and Japan, are accepting CFPs at this point. Firstly, I don't know if y'all are interested in co-submitting. If y'all are, please do let us know. I can open a tracking issue for this as well, just like we've opened one for community over code. If anyone's interested in submitting CFPs, co-submitting CFPs around Chaos Asia or the work that we're doing here, please let me know. Travel assistance is available for this. And it would be great to sort of have people who have been working in this group for some time to actually talk about some of the initiatives that they're working on, and you know interact with other chaos members, because I'm pretty sure for Europe there's going to be a lot of folks from the chaos community coming in. I'm not sure about the India, Japan, and Korea ones. Not gonna comment on that because I have no clue. um, However, we could consider co-submitting if that is of interest to people on this call or people in the wider group. So I'll take a pause there and see if anyone has any questions.
Yeah, I'd like to submit for the Japan and Korea one. So maybe we could create a separate issue for these in the GitHub one, so the pickup repo.
Sure, we could. We definitely should. So that's I will open up a tracking issue for each of these open source summits, and if there's interest, we can definitely consider submitting, um, because these are good
Or,
areas to, yeah.
sorry. Go
No,
ahead,
no,
go
no
ahead.
problem.
You may come.
Yeah, these are good
So
areas to sort of talk to our work. That's the thing. So yeah, go ahead.
yeah, what I was thinking is we should create like a spreadsheet probably, because even I have like zero clue as of now on like what topics we could submit out on. So should we do something like like create a spreadsheet and then in that make like a list of topics or like like the CFP format that people submit, right? Like the what's that called,
I'm
summary or
happy to do
something like
that.
that.
Happy to do
Do you
that.
think that's a
Happy
good
to
idea?
Yeah, happy to do either, like the tracking sheet or the tracking issue. Because we need to know where we are submitting to, and it needs to be contextual, right? Like again, like for open source summits, it's pretty much going to be the same. But for like other events, if we want to sort of like have a thing, that's also important. But a tracking Excel sheet or a tracking issue, both would make sense. I have no problem. with either.
Yeah, that works. Do you want me to create this issue? I can
E-
create those.
yeah, that would be helpful, please. That would really be helpful. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
Hello, Divya.
Yeah, hi, tell me.
Yeah, I am new to this conference and talk. So like in the initial call for proposals, what are we supposed to like submit? Is it slides or talk or the abstract?
It's just the abstract and the benefits to the ecosystem and the name of the submitter. We don't need to submit any slides. The slides are supposed to be prepared, um, I mean, or at least to be showcased during the presentation itself. So you don't need to worry about preparing the slides.
Okay, so in our case, it should be like regarding the chaos ecosystem and the tools regarding it.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend that we speak about the work that we're doing at on the Asian thing because I don't know if y'all are involved in anything else in the wider chaos group, but if y'all are happy for y'all to chime in on that. But if uh, yeah, like speak about like the concept of open source summit is to speak about the open source projects that you're working on or any thought leadership that you have around open source ecosystem in general. So yeah, uh, so you should just have like an abstract ready in terms of what you're thinking of speaking, or even if you have ideas, happy to sort of brainstorm on them together.
Mhm. Got it. Thank you so much.
All right. So the next one is that we have stuff going on in terms of Summer of Code. Sorry, Google Summer of Code in the wider community, although it's not related to what we're doing. And there's a lot of attention that's coming through in terms of like Asians joining the Chaos group. There are a couple of ideas, and I wanted to see if it would be worthwhile to cross promote these um, amongst the student initiatives that we are part of, or give them more prominence because a lot of people are trickling in, and there are 3 to 4 ideas within the group, within the idea list that I've pasted here around the work that has to be done in chaos. So it's mainly related to the augur tool, which is the visualization tool that we have. So does it make sense to cross promote this? Is something that I wanted to float by this group of people.
It sounds good. Should we do that on like social media also, or like fully for
I don't know, like to be really honest, like our social media doesn't have a lot of following. At least the Twitter doesn't have a lot of following, and given the amount of mess that's happening at the Twitter level, I wouldn't really recommend for folks to publicize there. And with respect to LinkedIn, I think there's already a post there. So we do not have a separate LinkedIn page for the Asia chapter, so I don't think it makes sense publicizing there as well. Uh, but if you all have like local student bodies or any initiatives that you are a part of, wherein there are a lot of students, it would I wanted to see if it makes sense to publicize this there, since we do have folks from India who are interested in participating in the uh, Google Summer of Code. Gosh, it's really difficult to say Summer of Code instead of Season of Code, but yeah.
uh, yeah, that makes sense. I'll try to see if I can find any groups and
All right. It's a request to everyone else as well. And if y'all can see if there are any student bodies or anything that y'all are a part of, or any initiatives that you're a part of where this can sort of be publicized. Please do the needful. And secondly, there's one more thing that I noticed that one of us or some of us could be doing, or all of us could be doing, as members of Chaos Asia. There's a lot of folks, like I said, coming in from India and from other parts of Asia in the newcomers channel. It would be very helpful to sort of greet them and redirect them to our channel as well, because there are very few of us actually working on the code aspect of things, and it would also benefit like wider discussion forums to like it would also help broaden our discussion, to be really honest, because we speak about these various conferences and various advocacy based stuff. We also speak about open source database, but actually the code of the project that can be worked on should also have some sort of representation in our group, I believe, and that people could be working on there from our side of things as well. So if y'all like go through the newcomers channel, and if people are like ready to take turns to welcome them to our sort of like Slack channel, like say that, hey, I see that you're from India or Asia or wherever, and if you could join, not if you could join, we recommend that Chaos Asia, whatever, is a part of the Slack channel, and we hang out every alternate Thursdays. That would be helpful for them, so that they don't feel like they are just stepping into a landmine and they don't know where to start. It would help that they get to hang out with people who are from their time zones, because most of the meetings are at like 9:30 p.m. IST, and it might not really be friendly for people who are in India, or even other than India, any other countries other than India as well. So um, does anybody want to sort of do that? Like, anybody can do that. It's not necessary that one person needs to do it, but like, is anybody interested in doing that, and you all want to sort of take turns doing that? How do you propose we go ahead?
I was thinking to make like a small resources. I can like gather some like small resources, link like a getting started thing, and then maybe we could just like have a short message, and I can start trying that out. Like, I can share a sample with you, where like, and then we can just send a message to those people, right? So uh, like a welcome message and like links to get started, and then about Chaos Asia, to Chaos Asia. Does
Yeah, I
that?
mean that works. It's just a small blurb that you need to come up with. If like people want to do it on schedule, that's fine. If y'all don't want to do it on schedule and want to do it randomly, that's also fine. But just because I see a lot of the Chaos Africa folks actually welcoming people who are coming in from Africa, but I am not able to keep tabs on the newcomers channel at all points, and somehow I managed to see most of them today and like invited them to our call. But it would help if we actually say that, hey, you know what, there, if you're from the Asian time zone, not if you're from the Asian time zone, actually, we need to check which time zone they're based out of. So I see that you're from the Asian time zone. We have a channel, Chaos Asia, where we hang out. We have a not bi-weekly, fortnightly meeting at on Thursday at 8 a.m. IST, and that should potentially be it. Like, we don't need to like go beyond that. But if you want to go beyond that, that's also fine. Like, say we have a GitHub repo and all of that, that's also fine. But I see a lot of Indians and Asians in general trickling in, which is why I wanted to like bring this up.
Yeah, that was. I think what you did similar. Whoever is available that time, and let's see if the channel, maybe that person to pick it up. Or like
Yeah.
uh, maybe at a certain time in the day, just check the channel, and if you see something, then like we can just post a message similar to what you posted.
Yeah, and that works. It's not a huge deal. Like maybe once in a couple of days we go in and check that channel, because it's not all that like we don't have a huge number trickling in every day. It's just once in every 2 3 days we go check there, see if there are any Asian folks on there who are newcomers, and just paste it. Like every day I understand is very impossible, so maybe take on like a weekly like assignment wherein like one person goes and checks, or and post this message against each of the Asian folks that have joined. Um, and it would sort of help them join this meeting as well, and ask any questions if they have any questions in the first place. And we can also help them in get started in other areas of the project if they are interested.
And Divya, that's a wonderful idea. Yeah, that's a really nice idea. I think we could take turns in doing this.
Yeah. So, does anyone want to take the initiative of coming up with um like for the next month, uh, or maybe this month? Let's start from next week. Does anyone want to like take on like let's target on a monthly basis. Let's see who volunteers. And based on that, can we like have one person each week to just like check in twice or thrice a week, or maybe twice a week, to actually just go and post that message to people who have joined in from Asia? Can we like create a tracking sheet? And I think this can also factor in as being a contributor to the project. In the main contributor sheet, I will link that as well. So once you are sort of doing that, if you're since it's a non-code contribution, it would be eligible to sort of be entered in there as well. So you'll be recognized as a contributor for the non-code work that you're doing. So if that is of interest, anybody wants to take up that initiative of like creating that schedule of people who want to do it?
Yeah, Divya. Okay, so I think Leon is going to create an issue about, I mean, submitting the CFP, and then he's going to create a tracking sheet, and the tracking sheet will put that in the issue link. So I think along with the sheet, we can create like one more, I mean, in the same Google Doc, we can have one more sheet, and there I think we can track this.
I think that should be separate, because these are two separate things in my opinion. Like one is for the open source summits and everything else, but this is specifically for the contributors or the newer contributors that are coming on the newcomers channel. So that would like, at least in my view, it would be sensible to not mix them up and cause confusion.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that works also.
Yeah, so anyone want to take up that initiative and see and arrange for the rota or schedule for the next month? Like we could rotate turns. We don't have to do it. We don't have to like designate one person. But for this month, does anybody want to take up that schedule? Like just create a sheet, and for the next 3 4 weeks, ask who's interested on the Slack channel to welcome newcomers and enter in their names for the next month on the sheet. Would that help? Like, is anybody willing to do that?
So Divya, just one thing. So I think I am just seeing this channel right now, and I think we are welcome all the newcomers.
Yeah,
So
that is for this week.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think you want to do the same for the next week, right?
Next week, like what I'm doing, thinking is going to do it for a monthly basis. We split every week between like members of this Slack channel, members of our Slack channel. We split up and welcome newcomers and say that redirect them to our Slack if they are from Asia. So that is the idea. So we designate one person who can take up that responsibility every week. And I want someone to create that tracking sheet, or a discussion item or something of that sort, so that we can actually actively track who is welcoming people from the Asian side of things into
Okay.
chaos.
Okay, okay. I think I can take care of it for next week.
Okay, but who is there anyone who wants to create the tracking sheet in itself? Like we need a tracker sheet to sort of like go through
Yeah,
the
I'll create that. I'll create that. I mean to say I'll
okay.
create the tracking sheet and I'll also like invite the people next week as well. Okay?
Okay, okay. And in the week after, like, can you also solicit nominations for the month of March on on the Slack channel? Like ask people who are interested in welcoming people on the newcomers channel. Can you also
Okay.
do that? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we can do
Yeah.
this on a monthly
Yeah.
basis, and we can figure out who wants to do it next month in the next call that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Thanks so much.
No problem. Thank you so much for offering. So that's pretty much it for the Google Summer of Code. Um, and I'll move on to the last one, which is the contributor covenant. So Mary Blessing actually is the project manager for the contributor covenant, and she has reached out to me to sort of float the contributor covenant and also give your opinions on the content of the covenant here. So there is the covenant linked in the agenda doc, but there's also a survey doc linked below. So the idea is for y'all to sort of go through the covenant and give your opinions about how effective or what is your perception of the covenant. It is not good. The data is not going to be attributed to you, but it is going to be taken and understood in the context of the wider data that is going to be collected as part of this exercise. So if you are particularly interested in providing your survey, or if you feel like the covenant could be improved in in a certain manner, please go through the covenant as well as and answer the questions on the survey doc. Does that make sense? Like any questions that y'all might have, I'm happy to answer them because this is fairly new to me as well. Mary Blessing just reached out last week and asked me to float this during the call. So if there are any particular strong opinions that y'all have around the covenant, or if y'all want to suggest any improvements, the survey doc is the best place to sort of give your opinion. So yeah, Cindy, please tell me.
Oh, Divya. I was just thinking, probably not directly related to the covenant, but what if we have like a joint meeting with the Africa group sometime?
I'm happy to facilitate that, but a lot of people here might not be able to attend that because it's right in the middle of the workday, as far as I am aware.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, so
maybe.
yeah, the Chinese and the other folks on here might not really be able to attend. I'm happy for us to sort of like facilitate that conversation when we are talking to them during, I don't know, whenever we talk to them, we can float that idea. But the Chinese and the folks further away from our time zone might not really be able to attend because it gets later. We can attend because we're in India. It'll be middle of our day. But folks who are in China, Japan, Korea, they might not be able to attend. So happy to do that. And also, I do believe we have a community call for chaos every I don't know when, but every Tuesday. Whether it's a new contributor call or it's a community call, I'm not sure, but we do have a community call which basically brings in people from like all parts of the project. So that could also be a great one for everyone to join, though I don't know how feasible that is given that's also later in the day. Essentially, it'll be like 7:30, 8 p.m. in the day. So I don't know. We can definitely talk about that during our conversation with Ruth and company. Does that make sense? All right. Yeah, and with that, I think we've come to the end of our agenda doc. Does anybody have any other open discussion items, or any concerns or any issues?
No, none for.
All right. So I guess that's it for today's call. And I'll see you in the next edition of this call. Mostly Zhao will be hosting because we alternate nowadays. So Zhao will be hosting, but I'll check in with her. Nevertheless, I'll be there on the call. So yeah, see you on the next edition of this call, and have a great day, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.